When people ask me where to live in Seattle and they give me their list, Ballard, Capitol Hill, Queen Anne, I always ask one question back. Have you looked at Fremont? And almost always the answer is no, not really. They drove through it, they saw the troll, of course. They didn't know it was a neighborhood people actually buy homes in. That's a mistake. Fremont is one of the most livable neighborhoods in Seattle, and it's consistently overlooked by people moving from out of state because it doesn't have the same marketing machine as somewhere like Ballard. Today, I'm gonna fix that. I'm Brennen Clouse, Seattle real estate broker. I've been selling homes here for over a decade. Fremont is the neighborhood I find myself recommending most to buyers who think they want Ballard. And here's exactly why. Fremont officially calls itself the center of the universe. That's on the sign. It's been there for decades. It's a neighborhood that takes its own mythology seriously in a way that's actually charming rather than pretentious. So here's the history. Fremont started as an industrial neighborhood along the Ship Canal. It became an arts community in the 1970s and 1980s, and it never fully gentrified. It got expensive, but it kept its really kind of weird factor, and that's rare. What you see when you walk around, the Fremont Troll, a massive concrete sculpture under the Aurora Bridge that locals just treat as furniture. The outdoor cinema space, the Sunday market, one of the best weekend markets in the city, running from May through September with things like antiques, food vendors, and local goods. The canal path, the bridges over the Fremont Cut. Google and Adobe have offices here, which brought money, but, and this is unusual, it didn't completely sanitize the neighborhood. Fremont Avenue North is the main commercial street with coffee shops, bars, restaurants, a few galleries. It has the walkable neighborhood commercial street energy of Ballard, Ballard Ave specifically, but with a quieter vibe and less of the weekend crowd chaos. And that is for sure. Now, the character. This is the thing that's hard to quantify, but it matters more than any single metric. Fremont has opinions. It has the Fremont Art Council. It hosts the Fremont Solstice Parade every summer. Google it, you'll want to see that. It involves painted cyclists, and it is deeply, deeply Seattle, that's for sure. There are murals, there's public art, there are residents who have been there for 30 years and residents who moved in last year. And the neighborhood somehow hasn't fully swallowed one for the other. The vibe is smart and creative, a little bit irreverent, deeply local. It attracts a mix of longtime Seattle people, tech workers who wanted something with a bit more character than Bellevue, and people who moved here from creative cities and wanted a neighborhood that really felt alive. So who are the people that actually live here? The demographic is mixed in a way that's unusual for some of the other desirable Seattle neighborhoods. You've got young professionals and couples, tech workers from Google and Adobe and the broader tech ecosystem who specifically chose Fremont because they wanted walkability and character. You have creative types, designers, architects, people in film and media and the arts community. Fremont has enough of a critical mass of this that it still shapes the neighborhood's feel. Some families also live in Fremont, mostly people who bought before prices climbed significantly, now deeply embedded in Fremont. And Fremont Elementary has a good reputation. Newer families are less common, but still present. I've sold to people who have lived in Craftsman's and have started to grow their family in Fremont. But the one thing you won't find much of is the party bar crowd. Fremont has bars, but the scene is more low-key than Capitol Hill or even Ballard. Now, I do know some UW students come over to Fremont on the weekends, but Fremont on a Friday night is more of a dinner and wine vibe and not a club vibe. Fremont's median sales prices are roughly in the $900,000 to $950,000 range, which sounds like more than Ballard, and technically it is, but the story is a little bit more nuanced. In Fremont, that $900K often buys a detached single-family home. In Ballard at $850, you might be getting a townhouse or a smaller detached home. The square footage and the character of the housing stock in Fremont can be better at comparable price points. And here's what specific price ranges look like in Fremont. Like $700,000 to $850,000 is condos, older townhomes, and smaller single-family homes. This entry tier exists, and it is real. $850,000 to $1.1 million is a solid single-family home, craftsman and bungalow style, typically anywhere from 2 to 3 bedrooms with maybe a small yard. But the bread and butter of the Fremont market is $1.1 million and above. These are larger homes, updated renovations, premium locations, particularly anything with water or bridge views over the canal. Fremont doesn't have the same new construction pressure Ballard has had, which means the housing stock is older but often more architecturally interesting. If you want a 1920s craftsman craftsman with the original hardwood floors and a decent yard, you're more likely to find that actually in Fremont than in Ballard, where a lot of the older homes have been scraped and replaced with townhomes. Now that is still happening in Fremont, but I would say at a slower pace. So here are the real pros. Pro 1, the canal path to the Burt-Gilman Trail access. The Burt-Gilman Trail runs directly through Fremont along the Ship Canal. For cyclists and runners, this is an exceptional option because you can bike to Ballard or the University District or to Redmond even if you go all the way around the lake. Fremont is legitimately one of the best cycling neighborhoods in Seattle. Another thing is lower competition than Ballard. Fremont doesn't show up first in most out-of-state buyers' searches, and that means when a good home hits a market, you're competing against fewer buyers. Not dramatically fewer, it is still Seattle, and so it's competitive, but the competition is real, and Fremont offers a slight structural advantage over someplace like Ballard. Third, it's quieter than Ballard on weekends. This is not nothing. Living in Fremont means your neighborhood comes alive during the Sunday market and on the solstice parade and some weekend nights, but it doesn't have the same bar rush noise that affects parts of Ballard Ave, for example. Residential streets in Fremont feel genuinely residential even on weekends. Other thing is Google and Adobe are on your block essentially. If you work at Google in Fremont, your commute could literally be a 5-minute walk. If you work at one of the other tech campuses nearby, you're in a good position as well. And the food and coffee are excellent and less crowded. Fremont has Paseo, the Caribbean sandwich shop with really like a cult following, Lighthouse Coffee and other serious coffee spots, Revel of course, the Whale Winds for dinner. The quality is in these restaurants and the lines are shorter than somewhere like Ballard. Now, I'm gonna be honest about the cons of Fremont. Transit to downtown is okay, but it's not great. Fremont doesn't have the light rail, it has bus lines, so the D line connects Fremont to downtown in about 20 minutes in off-peak hours. And that's fine, but if you're commuting downtown 5 days a week and you want rail quality transit that's much quicker, Fremont does require a bus and usually down the 99. Now the other thing is limited elementary school options. Fremont Elementary is good, but the broader school situation in Seattle where your assigned school is address dependent applies here too. So you want to check the specific address before you commit to the home. The other thing is parking can be a nightmare. It's maybe not as bad as Ballard, but Fremont's residential streets can get tight. If you're buying and you don't have a garage, or if the garage is too small, check the parking situation on the specific street you're looking at before you buy. And it's not for everyone's aesthetic. Some buyers look at Fremont and the intentional weirdness around the neighborhood, the troll, the outdoor art, the Sunday market, and they love it. Others find it feels a little bit more performative or maybe dated. So you just have to be honest with yourself whether the character of this neighborhood energizes you or exhausts you. Both are valid, but here's who Fremont is perfect for. You're right for Fremont if you work at Google in Fremont, or you work somewhere with a good Fremont bus connection. You value neighborhood character over the polished neighborhood. You bike, or maybe you want to bike commute, and your budget is anywhere $800,000 to $1.1 million, and you want a detached single-family home with actual square footage. If you like the idea of knowing your neighbors and having a neighborhood feel not just a location, or you're a single professional or a couple or family who wants that vibe, and schools are not the primary driver, you're probably not right for Fremont if you need light rail transit, your commute is to the east side, and you want minimum bridge crossings. That's not going to be in Fremont. Or you want newer construction and a more polished neighborhood aesthetic. You're going to have a lot of variation in Fremont. Or if you need multiple great elementary schools to choose from, then Fremont's probably not for you. Fremont is the neighborhood I always put on someone's list when they come in with a tight search and they haven't looked at it yet. It almost always surprises them. And in a market where Ballard and Capitol Hill get all the attention, the overlooked neighborhoods are often where you find better value, better buying opportunities, better overall quality of life. If you want to see how Fremont compares to Ballard, Capitol Hill, and 5 other Seattle neighborhoods side by side, I've actually put together a free guide that does exactly that. You can download it at the link in my description, or just text Seattle to my phone number 206-899-9101 and I'll send it your way. If you're seriously looking at Fremont and want to talk through whether it fits your specific situation, I do free 30-minute calls on Zoom. The link to book those is in the description as well. I'm Brennen Clouse. If you found this useful, subscribe. I'm doing every major Seattle neighborhood in this series, and next week I'm going into the tech worker commute guide. I'll see you there.